Hi, it's Josie Griswold here, and today I'm going to teach you how to paint. We're going to do a paint along. I have a small little one that's done, and it's a landscape with trees, and so we're going to work on doing a sky with some clouds and some trees and hills and grass. So it's pretty simple and pretty basic, but these are the same exact techniques I use in my paintings that you can learn. And once you learn the basics, then you can pick and choose what you want to paint. All right, let's get started. Okay, we're ready to go. So here is the little painting I did. We've got a nice blue sky with some white puffy clouds, a distant hill, another hill, and then the grass coming forward, and a pretty little tree in there. So that's what we're going to paint today. I've got the color hats I have are titanium white, teal, cobalt blue, ultramarine blue, sap green, Hans yellow light, quinacridone crimson, raw umber, and Van Dyke brown. So that's what we're going to use. The brushes I'm going to use today, and someone who's seen me paint before, now I like to use these flathead brushes. I use these a lot, and when I was working in houses, because I was a faux finisher and decorative artist, I used these a lot, and I've got great results with them. They come in all different sizes, as you can see, so you can use them in many different ways. And you'll see me today working with these. I'll probably use this one a lot today. That's going to be my go-to brush, or maybe even this one to put the blue on for the sky. And then the other brush I use a lot is this liner brush. It's a 1/2 inch liner. It's a 0, and so it's just a good handy brush to use for fine lines, and I use this a lot too. Alright, let's get started. Some titanium white, some cobalt blue, and we'll throw a little teal in there. And I don't mix it completely because then you get a blend of colors when you're putting it on. And it just depends on what it is that I'm painting. Need to mix up a little more. Again, titanium white, cobalt blue, and some teal. Mix it up. I think I could use a little more white. There we go. Oh, too dark. Throw some white on there, blend it out. Good color. Now this is all still pretty wet while I'm applying it, so I can blend it. If you don't use enough paint and you let it dry out, then it's more of a struggle. Also, the kind of acrylic paints you use makes a difference in your paintings and what you can achieve. I use golden or other high quality acrylics. Liquidex, I think, is another one I have. But you find what works best for you and you use that. And that's what I've learned to do. I just find what I get my best results with, and that's what I use. Alright, now we have a nice sky. And I'm going to take a little bit of yellow with a little bit of white pounds yellow light, and just put a little bit down here. Give us some lightness. And now I am just going to clean out my brush. I'm going to get all these colors out. And I'm going to use the white. So what I do for the clouds, see how I'm dabbing my brush and making the hairs pull apart a little bit? That's what I want to do. And because the tree's on this side, I want the clouds just on this side. And dab it around, give it some nice billowing clouds. Dab a little more, makes it nice and soft. And you can see my paint is still wet, so I can do some blending with the clouds too. Add a little bit more white and a little bit more down here. And then what I'm going to do, just go across like that. A little bit of a blend. And what you have to understand too is painting is trial and error. See what works. Try something else if you don't like that effect. And try again. And you just keep on working on it. There. That was just plain white that I did that with. And what that is doing is lightening up that distance a little bit. Alright, so now with the same colors I have, I'm going to do this distant tail right there. I'm going to take a little of the quinacridone crimson, put it in there, a little bit of the ultramarine blue, put it in there, and let's do a little bit of the sap green. Do we like this color? I could probably use just a touch more green. As you saw, I literally just did a touch of these other colors. Here's the other thing I forgot to tell you is I put my horizon line. I did it 1/3. So this is a 9" by 12" canvas. So this goes up 3 inches, and that's my horizon line. And you want to, most of the time, you put your horizon line in thirds. Either 1/3 or 2/3, and but rarely do you go half. Alright, now let's do a little bit of accent in there while it's still wet. A little bit of green, a little ultramarine blue. See how it's just blending because it's wet? And again, it all depends on your acrylics that you are using. And you have to use enough paint also. Alright, so now the hill coming forward. Oh, I also put a little highlight on there. We'll get that in a little bit. Clean my brush. So now, let's work with the same color we had before. This time we're going to add some more sap green. And a little touch of ultramarine blue. There we go. And that's our distant hill. Let's add a little more white, or the blue mixture. Okay, I got a little too dark. And with these flathead brushes, see how you can get a nice crisp edge there? Alright, so now we're going to add a little bit more of the sap green, ultramarine blue. We're going to just give it a little bit more ultramarine blue. Give it a little bit of distance there. So now, I'm going to take this cobalt blue and white, put a little of the yellow in there, Hans yellow light. I'm going to take my brush, but I'm going to use just the tip of it. Give us some highlights there. And very faintly there. There we go. Clean my brush again. And then we're going to start with this foreground. Now the foreground, as you can see, there's kind of a bluish color in there. And we're just going to use this blue and white again. Add some more of the cobalt blue. Touch of the teal. And a little bit of the green. Let's see how that looks. Oh, not too bad there. Let's throw some on there, and then we're going to add more of the sap green now. And as we come forward, we get a little darker. Little sap green, little ultramarine blue. sap green in there. I need to mix it more. Got too low. Okay. I'm just trying to continue a little bit of that lightness across the horizon there. And then bring it in the center a little bit to draw your eye into it. Alright, now let's do this pretty little tree. Again, I'm going to use this brush. I really like it. And what you can do is use your 3 darkest colors that you have. And that would be your sap green that I have on my board, my ultramarine blue, and my quinacridone crimson. Mix them together and see what you have. Do we have a nice dark color? I think that's a good color. What I am going to do, I've got some thinner here, open thinner. Put that on there, just a drop or 2. Just so it's a little smoother when I'm working on this. And I want to use the brush like this. So, there we go. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to bring this branch up through here. But I'm going to take this so far because I want to have a thinner brush. I'm just using this to fill in real good. There we go. Some nice chunky roots down there. Alright. So right now all that is blending with all the wet stuff. So we're going to let that set a minute or 2. And while that's working up, I'm cleaning my brush again. I'm taking this rounded brush. It is a number 4. And I'm going to work on the branches a little bit. need to mix a little bit more of this. And I'm out of my sap green. So let me find my sap green. Oh, it's ultramarine. There it is. Alright, so some more sap green, ultramarine blue, and quinacridone crimson. And check it out on there. Okay, I like that. Let's give it a little bit more extender on there. So, you see I'm rolling my brush there. What it's doing is taking some of the paint off because I don't want it too heavy when it comes on here. Now, the same thing I do, watch, I'm turning my brush slowly as I'm painting the branches. And what that's doing is giving you a little bit more paint to work with. You'll see me doing that whenever I'm using my little liner brush too. I'm just filling these in a little bit more. So I'm going to have the sunlight coming from this way. So the sunlight's coming from this way. Well, I have the other direction, but sunlight's coming from this way, so I need to put some shadows on the tree on this side. So just some quick strokes. Get some of the darkness in there. And then we're going to get some highlights on that. We're going to use the white. We're going to use a little teal in there first of all. It's too tealy. A bit more white. And some of the green mixture. And we're not going to do a lot. We're going to give just some quick, and these are dry strokes. There's not a lot of paint on this. And I want to get the highlights on these big branches before I start putting the leaves in. You see we have a nice curving branch there. Alright, now let's give a little yellow in there. We don't need much. Just a little bit of the white. Cleaning my brush off. Just little strokes again. Not doing as much as we did of the other one. Alright, now let's put a little highlight right there. Too light. This is just my brush wet. Tone that down. Let's get that a little bit of highlight. Tone it down. There we go. Alright, let's do the leaves now. Now I'm going to the size smaller on the flathead brush. And this is a size 10. And we're going to do some leaves. So first of all, I want to get the darker shadowed leaves in there. And remember, the shadows are going to be on this side this time. So we'll use some of this, and we'll add some ultramarine blue in there, and some sap green. Let's do a hint of teal. And just kind of play with it and have fun with it. And then we want it to be opened. So you want your brush to be opened up like that. And just do some dabbing away like that. And you don't want it everywhere, but you want clumps. And you want it to have some roundness to these bunches. Okay, not too many. And then we go add some white, some sap green, a little bit more sap green. We can add a little bit of ultramarine blue. What I am doing is I am taking most of that paint off of my brush. As you can see, it rolled off. And now I'm going to dab like that and load that paint on there. And here's a little bit lighter. And we're putting it where the sun would be hitting. Now we don't want all these branches to show through all the way, so just going back and covering them up a little bit so they're not quite so dominant. There. And now we're going to add to that a little bit more white. I'm going to do a little section and a little bit of the Hans yellow. And so it's still the same color, just a little lighter. And it's giving you your sunlight. I'm going to add some of this right here. Now the next thing I want to do, I always try and rinse my brushes out. Is find my liner brush. So some areas do not look like they have any branches. And I did that purposely because I wanted to come back with my little liner brush. I went with the dark that I have, and I loaded on my liner brush. Now what I'm going to do as I'm working it is I'm going to be twisting it. But I'm also going to be doing not straight lines. Give it a little jiggle like that to get some really cool little branches going. And as I'm doing that, you probably can't tell, but I'm also twisting my brush. I did dilute this down with water a little bit, just so it flows a little better. A little bit more water. I think just a touch more. Where? And depending with your liner brush, I'm just going to show you real quick. You can go real heavy. You can go real heavy, or you can go really light. And as you're going lighter, it tapers off to an even finer braid. Alright, tree's done. The last thing we have to do is our grass. And we're going to do our grass with or fantail brush. It is a number 6 fantail. I just bought this just so I could do this for you guys. Alright, so we're going to mix up, we're going to get some of the, first of all, the sap green, and put a little of the blue in there, and mix it up with a little water. And now that's ready to go. Put a little on my brush. Put it by the roots of the tree. Alright, now we're going to lighten that. We're going to take some white and some of the Hans yellow and use some of that color we used before, so it's not bright, bright, bright. There we go. Clean off that brush. Dab that. I try not to put the whole brush down. I'll go from one side to the other side. Alright, there we go. Time to sign. So, when I sign, I use my little liner. It's a great little brush. I find a corner I want to put it in, and I sign it. Alright, there we go. Hope you had fun with it. Hope you have fun painting. And we'll have another video up for you shortly.